Okay, so this one's a bit heavier. We're going to be talking about Sri Lanka right here. So, in case you haven't been up to date or you haven't been watching news, it's a Arab Spring this year, right? We're getting a lot of that. Ukraine's coming down. Some farmer, somebody did something. A lot of Black Lives Matter in terms of George Floyd, I think is what it does. If you watched some stuff on Tucker coming in, I'm just going to give you a quick little pie chart. There's the numbers, violence, crimes, areas, operations. When you do the top level Fed stuff and the Nephilim Watchers, Fall of Solomon kind of run that I want you to be on here.
Live in honor. I will avenge you, Father.
Rolling in there and think you can bang William Wallace's wife. I mean, what's the matter with you?
It's heading towards IMF.
For me, generally, I look at the situation from a board model and say, like, you couldn't figure it out here. It's not working in Russia, and to a certain degree, China as well. And that's the issue. Because I would actually like to give XI short of riling up. I mean, he's got Singapore on the issue, Arab Spring being the issue, revolts, impeachments on the tables these days for world leaders, and what's coming in terms of the players that who are two definitions here. I want you to take a real quick look at it, because this is probably where your brain's going to go, like mine. Sorry.
The local banks,
some tweet about it.
Banks could be the next shoe to drop. There is
no, generally, I'll give you the professor's institutional on the Fed needs to move a little bit more expeditiously behind the curve on some of this stuff about what you're dealing with. Here, the outer gods. Sure. You know, I'll play the Scarlet King or the Red King over, or the Yellow King, Cthulhu. When you get to something like this, you know, you'll see me playing that. Why move out of whatever trade he was doing for whatever reason, and she's going to sell baby sell on the oil because the whole market's like this. I'm going to suck down a lot of that money, boss, for the peacock on the team, and you wind up checking a good play, and, you know, for the dues, I made that hit, but you know what, here's another good one in case that bothered somebody. But it's more about, you know, the options trade after. There are other types of markets on tops of what you do, but they're just macro moves today. That's the option. I could take down the growth. I could go along with it comparatively to fundamentals, to timelines, boss. And the reality of the world outside isn't the golden play. And one of your post guys out there coming in, here's the fall, or whatever it was. I'm supposed to do the fall in there. Apparently they're not letting me do it. At any rate, you want to take that Fall of Solomon stuff into consideration, because it happens to me all the time. I'm sure it happens to you. I'm sure it happens to you. Here's the president of board meetings. They're not catching it on the CEOs, right? There's no tweets inside of there. Again, you'd have to watch my content on this to really understand where I'm going with this Cleveland Steel guy. It's going to be hard to argue with him, probably because he's running Rockefeller's railroad tracks, right? You stand in front of that train, you're probably going to get hammered. Of course, I'm shaking hands with danger, with mine rates, safety accidents for free radiant Z-Coin, as the NTF business model long game seems a lot more simple comparatively. They opened with Snap, you know, and it's like you go in the options trade. Come on, you know. You know, here's 420 numbers, and I'll give you some real numbers. Cops 685, and some other things, and that come in wreck the house real good about this Arab Spring, Sri Lanka's revolution, how it's playing on the board these days, kind of ideas, the way you want to look at it, because we want to buy that out real swift. We want to look at Russian economics players that's like, look, if you don't like the bullshit because it goes against the fundamentals and what you would play as Feds without having to back up their words that they speak for you, how would you do it? You would say, I want to have the same system that they could just pull money over to. If I could take all that Ukrainian into Poland, that's what you would want to do. In the same way, taking a bunch of immigrants across the Mexican or Canadian border is going to be an AR mod where I'd like to cycle it in for a T-30, send them back with the resources and skills that they need to get self-sustaining where they were, so I can spread out the business load instead of inflating on the labor, which causes an Arab Spring if you didn't have the perfect contracts squared away on somebody's bullshit because they didn't like your business model pushing on theirs for competition. And stuff happens.